You left your mother, you left your father, and now you need to leave Watchtower. Hi guys, it's me, Gilbert. I should have done this video years ago because I talked to a lot of people, uh, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and Jehovah's Witnesses also, when they call me. I talked to them about this specific subject. And one thing that all of us know, that when you're a Jehovah's Witness, the majority of the people there are women with children, right? Married and single. And you understand why, because they're trying to provide a safe haven for their children. So they think, I got these kids, I got to protect them. Religion is the way to go, and that's why in all the churches you see a lot of women taking their children. And then a lot of times you see them without their husbands there, and with the Jehovah's Witness religion, you've noticed it happened in my family too. It's because the husband doesn't believe in the teachings of the Jehovah's Witnesses, but he can't get that through his wife's head. And so when I talk today about the adultery that exists in the relationships of Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm going to be referring to the women going to the Kingdom Hall and the men not going. And that's usually the case, but in a lot of circumstances, it's the other way around. But one thing that we see with the Jehovah's Witnesses is that and the problems that there are in the family, is the spiritual adultery of the Jehovah's Witnesses. They practice spiritual adultery, and yet the couples that go to the church don't even know it. Let's, for example, consider this. In Matthew 5, in the Sermon on the Mount, it's all in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to them. Then come and offer your gift. Now, when you think about this, here it talks about a brother or sister. Well, how even more so your spouse? So if you're going to the Kingdom Hall, and you're a woman going to the Kingdom Hall, and you're offering your gift, and you say, I'm going to go to the meetings, but your husband is not there with you, then your gift isn't really wanted. So we're going to use the language of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah and Jesus are not interested in your gift, because you're offering them a gift when your husband is over on the other side, who knows where, he's probably at home or he's with his friends, when he should be with you and the family, offering together the gift as one family to God. So Jesus is saying, hey, not only is Jehovah and Jesus, we're using Watchtower language, they're saying, hey, why don't you take back your gift? Why don't you go with your husband, your spouse, and why don't you guys work things out? And then if you both work things out, then come back with the gift and say, here's the gift. But Watchtower doesn't teach you that, because they're more interested in you being a member of their church than they are of you being in a united family. Now, Jesus goes on to say here, it says, you have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown in hell. And if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to go to hell. Now, notice here it's talking about adultery. Now it says, if a man just looks at a woman lustfully, he has committed adultery with the heart. Well, what about when you, as a woman or as a man, you listen to what those people say in New York? You care more about the opinions of these crazy people in this picture. You care more about what they have to say about God and Jesus and religion and what decisions you're going to make in your life. You care more about what strangers that you'll never meet say than what your spouse believes. If that is not adultery, spiritual adultery, I don't know what is. Jesus here, look in Matthew 5, let's go back. In verse 27, he's talking about a man that looks lustfully at a woman, has already committed adultery in the heart. Well, using that same logic as Jesus is talking about, when you care more about what a religious leader says than your husband, well, then who are you loyal to? It is an adulterous relationship. It is a spiritually adulterous relationship. And that's why you have the problems that you do in a house that's divided. Because Jesus says, a house that divided cannot stand. The wife is believing in what the governing body of Jehovah's Witness says over here, and the man has forfeited is abdicated his responsibility and saying, hey, woman, we're a family. Speaking of that, let's go back here to where it says in the very beginning, but for Adam, no suitable helper was found. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of man, and he brought her to man. The man said, this is now bones of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. That is why, and this is the point, a man leaves his father and his mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. But how can you be one flesh when you as a woman or you as a man are listening to what these people are saying in a far distant land? You care more about what religious leaders that put on ties and go on TV and write crazy literature, books. You care more about what they say than what your spouse says. So you say, Mom, Dad, I'm going to leave and I'm going to get married and I'm going to be united to my spouse. But I don't have to listen to you no more. But I'm going to listen to these foreigners, these whack jobs that live thousands of miles away, and they become one flesh. You're not one flesh. You're divided because you have a religion like the Jehovah's Witnesses who purposely get involved in your relationship. When a good, faithful, and a good, discreet slave of Jesus Christ would say, you know what? Why don't you take your offer back home? Don't come to this church. Don't come back unless you come back with your husband. Now you say, Gilbert, I don't want to celebrate Christmas because I'm a Jehovah's Witness, right? And I'm a mom, I'm a Jehovah's Witness, and I have kids. But my husband wants to celebrate Christmas. Then what do? Well, the answer is very simple. You don't do either. And it's actually found in a comedy skit, like right here.
I don't really celebrate Christmas. I celebrate Festivus. Festivus. Festivus.
What is Festivus?
It's nothing. It's a stupid holiday my father invented. It doesn't exist.
Happy Festivus, Georgie.
I haven't celebrated Festivus in years. What is your interest?
Just tell me everything, huh?
Many Christmases ago, I went to buy a doll for my son. I reached for the last one they had, but so did another man. As I rained blows upon him, I realized there had to be another way.
What happened to the doll?
It was destroyed. But out of that, a new holiday was born. A Festivus for the rest of us.
And is there a tree?
No, instead there's a pole. It requires no decoration. I find tinsel distracting.
Frank, this new holiday of yours is scratching me right where I itch.
Let's do it then.
All right.
Festivus is back! I'll get the pole out of the crawl space.
See, he says there's a Festivus for the rest of us. So what does that mean? It means you don't celebrate Christmas, and then the husband will come and say, okay, we're not going to celebrate Christmas, but we're going to celebrate something else, something that we both agree. See, so you go ahead and you say, okay, we're not going to celebrate Christmas. But you as a wife also have to cede to your husband and say, well, then what are we going to do? Well, you both need to come to an agreement. And just like the skit says, you do a Festivus for the rest of us. You too are the church. The husband and the wife are the church, not the religion, not some 501c corporation out of New York. You and your husband are the church. And then you two decide how you're going to do with it, how you're going to do this. So the husband agrees, well, yeah, we're not going to celebrate Christmas because my wife doesn't want to celebrate Christmas. Okay, fine. We're one flesh. But you as a woman now have to obey your husband, and you have to come up with an alternative. You'll have to compromise. And you have to have a Festivus for both of you, for the rest of us. And then you say, what about Thanksgiving? What about 4th of July? Okay, the answer is you say no. Whatever she says, okay, we're not going to do it. But you also have to compromise. And you have to come to an agreement. Now, you say, well, Gilbert, I'm a Jehovah's Witness and my spouse is a Catholic. Okay, you need to leave the Catholic Church and you need to leave the Jehovah's Witness Church. And you two become one flesh. Like the verse says, you left your mother, you left your father, and now you need to leave Watchtower. You left your mother, you left your father, and now you need to leave Watchtower. You left your mother, you left your father, and now you need to leave Watchtower. and you need to be with your husband, you need to be united to your spouse, and you need to now become one flesh. And the husband and the wife say, okay, I left the Catholic Church, you left the Jehovah's Witness Church, you left your mom, I left my mom, you left your dad, I left my dad. Now we're going to become one, and we're going to do something that we both agree on. Because if you both don't agree on something, well, then you're not married and you're not one. I always quote Rush Limbaugh when he says, words mean things. You have to understand that words mean things. And I'm going to make a clip right here of this word. It's called marriage. What is marriage? The legal or formally recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship. So marriage is the union of two people. But here's the newsflash. If you want to go to the Jehovah's Witness religion and your husband wants to be with his friends or still be a Catholic and you guys go your own separate ways, you're not married. You're not united. You don't have a marriage. My dad would always say, why do you have different checking accounts? You're married. Words mean things. It's a union. Does the wife not trust the husband? Does the husband not trust the wife? You can't sit down and talk about the financial matters of your household and then put money aside in cash over here, and say, okay, this is the cash that you have for this week. This is the cash that I have for this week. That's called marriage, a union of two people. You can't even have the same checking account. You can't even agree to have a religion or a form of worship that you both agree on. How can you be married? The two are not one. And it all boils down to what I say. Watchtower is in a spiritually adulterous relationship with all of you that are watching that having this problem. You're in a spiritual adulterous relationship. I have a friend of mine, and I told him he's not even a Jehovah's Witness. His wife is, but he calls me from LA, and I told him, I go, I don't know how to break it to you. Your wife is cheating on you. She thinks that the governing body, right there, this picture, she thinks that she needs to listen to them versus listening to you. It's a spiritually adulterous relationship, and a house divided cannot stand. But more importantly, every time you go to the Kingdom Hall or to any other church, if you're not there with your spouse, Jesus is saying, hey, take it back. Clean up your own backyard first. And then when you clean up your backyard, when you finally both understand that it's a union, then both of you come and give the gift to God. It's not that God doesn't want your gift. It's He wants you to clean up your own backyard. It takes courage to believe that you're cheating on your husband. It takes courage to believe that you're cheating on your wife in a spiritual adulterous relationship because you value the opinions of strangers more than the person that you married. So my advice to you is do what Jesus says. Jesus says, take back the offering and fix your problems and then come back. It's better to leave any religion, every religion, just leave it. Leave every religion. Leave your job. Leave everything, because let's go back to what Jesus says on this subject. Verse 27, he says, you heard that it was said you shall not commit adultery. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. And if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than your whole body to go into hell. It's better for you to give up your job. Give up your job. Give up your religion. Give up everything. Everything. Let it all go. But keep your spouse. Keep your wife. Keep your husband. How do you do it? A Festivus for the rest of us. You both decide how you two, as one family unit, what you two will decide to give as a gift to the altar. So I hope you like this video, and I hope you find the courage to face the truth that you probably are in a spiritual adulterous relationship, and that's okay because you're not the only one, and it can be fixed. But I'm not your spiritual leader. I'm not your elder. I'm not your priest. I'm only the Jehovah's Witness elder you wish you had when you were going to the Kingdom Hall. Okay, talk to you on the next video.
What does the Bible really teach?
Oh, open your eyes, and I'm sure you will see. You're only cheating yourself if you're cheating